Dr. Homebrew is brought to you by 5 Star Chemicals, providing safety and cleaning supplies for brewing, distilling, and winemaking at 5starchemicals.com.
Doctor, look.
Stand aside, nurse. I'm Dr. Homebrew.
Stand clear. Oh.
Everyone, welcome back. It's another edition of Dr. Homebrew. Sorry about the long intro. I had to wait for the post, if you know what I mean.
You had to wait for the smooth. All right.
This is Dr. Homebrew. As aforementioned, thanks for joining us. Before we jump into the fray here, we got a couple really good beers to try. We have a guest on hold. We're ready to go, but I want to tell you a very important thing. Use 5-Star Chemicals. That's right. Go to 5starchemicals.com, and there you can learn all about how to properly clean and sanitize your home brewing equipment. They got the PBW. Of course, they got the Star San, all that kind of good stuff. They also have some equipment like some gloves and aprons and safety stuff because safety is important when you're working with chemicals. So, check them out, 5starchemicals.com.
They make something like Goo Gone that can remove stickers.
When you were talking about that on the last show, man, I thought, aside from that, PBW will pull the hell off of labels, man.
It does.
It really does. But I thought when you're saying Goo Gone in reference to like an orangey taste, I thought it was like some Tahitian plum, or you know what I mean, like some exotic fruit. And I'm like, what in God's name is a Goo-Gone?
A Goo-Gone,
it's
of course.
It's a very rare ester.
Yeah.
Known only to Brian.
Yeah, or a subsection of colon can. Some weird. I don't know. I had no idea.
Yeah,
because I know Goo-Gone as goof off.
Okay, goof off.
Yeah,
similar.
Yeah.
But that would have been weirder,
yes.
I guess.
No.
Well,
but
it wouldn't smell like an orange necessarily.
PBW for removing beer labels. It's
PBW works, man.
Little hot PBW
for sure. I use PBW to clean like my bathtub, to clean my stainless cookware.
Yeah, I'll put it in the dishwasher sometimes to just kind of clean things out a little bit.
Yeah, it's amazing. I love that stuff. 5starchemicals.com. And then everyone on the show tonight, which is Chris and Mike, they are going to get something nice in the mail from from 5 Star, rather, just for being on the show, which is very cool. And speaking of being on the show, we have Chris. Chris, are you with us?
I am indeed. How's it going, JP?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm all right.
So we have a cranberry wheat beer.
And
indeed.
We tasted it like 6 months ago.
Well,
or something. Like
that's the fourth wall. No one needs to know that.
No. But we get to taste it twice. This is awesome.
I am actually really excited about that because we have been hanging on because a lot of people, well, look, you guys know, a lot of people send us like 3 or 4 beers, and we want to do them all. And sometimes scheduling conflicts arise, and Chris has been Chris has been a really nice guy about it because I've had to put him off like twice now. He's like, sure, whatever, man.
Push me off. It's all good.
Yeah, because, just scheduling the show, man, sometimes can be a pain in the butt. And, sometimes I double book, but I think everything's streamlining now. Anyway, blah, blah, blah.
We need some sad music for that.
We do. But this beer has been in my fridge the entire time.
Oh, good.
So
we haven't been up on your roof like the last guy, right? Oh, wait,
no,
he was in a hole, right?
Yeah, that's right.
In the fridge, in the backyard, not plugged in.
Right, that's correct. And in the backyard, I mean in the river.
That 1950s fridge they uses as a storage decorative thing.
I used to have one of those, actually.
Painted black and uses for thermal solar heating for hot water.
Yes, absolutely. It's a little Burning Man thing, I guess. So the guys judged this beer when it was, I don't want to call it fresh, but when it was younger.
Appreciably younger.
And then now we get to drink it here. So they have the notes from the last time, and we have the beer here. But in short, have you ever done a cranberry wheat beer before?
No, I haven't.
If not, why not? Because it sounds like a great idea.
I don't know. It turned out pretty good, I thought. And I also used my homegrown peach yeast I harvested from my peach tree in the backyard.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's jump right into this beer because I just tasted it and I don't even know where to begin. There's so many flavors.
Words fail.
Lee, what do you think?
Well, I just said.
Words fail.
Words fail.
Oh.
Yeah, well,
Brian?
I came up with some words.
Okay.
They may fail, but I have them.
All right, let's do it.
I didn't say they didn't exist. Okay, so keep in mind, this is from, I think we judged this back in June.
May, actually.
May?
May
Oh, that's
18th
right,
we judged
so
this.
May, yeah.
Nice.
Now it is September, so
All
it's
right.
like, it is actually getting several months down the road.
Yeah.
So, back in May, medium cranberry sweetness in the aroma with good cranberry and aroma complexity. I mean, it didn't just smell like a cheap artificial fruit flavor in some crappy red-colored drink. Some underlying white bread wheat character, hints of spice in the background. No hops were noted, really. No DMS or diacetyl. Very appealing. The wit beer kind of character, the yeasty character was pretty low, but that's probably all right. It gave plenty of room for the cranberry to shine through.
Yeah.
Appearance is a very interesting looking beer. Pours a medium pink and mostly fine foam. Fades slowly to light cover. Could maybe have a little better head retention, but with the fruit in there, it's hard to say what that might do. Copper pink, almost brown sometimes color. Brilliant clarity, which is a little odd in a wheat beer, but we didn't rouse the bottle if there's any yeast, and I don't remember if there's yeast in this or not. It's hard to see here. Maybe there is. Wit beers are often a bit hazy, but this one was very clear. Flavor, light tart with cranberry fruitiness and low bready wheat flavor. Some supporting spicy phenols. A bit of a minty note. Which I'm not sure where it was coming from. No hop flavor really was noted, which is fine for this style. Some bittering, just bitter enough to support, which is good. That's what you want in a beer like this. Finish is fairly dry with lingering cranberry, a little bit of acidity, and wheat flavor. Not so much wit beer character again. It is more balanced to the cranberry, but very drinkable and enjoyable. For the mouthfeel, it was medium low to low body, medium carbonation, not hot or alcoholic, has a light astringency, probably from the cranberries. I mean, if you've ever drunk cranberry juice or anything or eaten cranberries, sometimes just has that little bit of almost astringent character to it. It's kind of a pungent fruit.
Yes.
Almost a lambic-like character. It was, which works okay here, actually. That astringency gave it that sort of, the lambic sometimes have a bit of a character like that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Not creamy. Overall impression, very pleasant and drinkable fruit beer, very appealing, flavorful, with fruit flavors balanced well by light acidity. They complement most of the good fruit flavors are in here, and that's actually something you want in a lot of good fruit beers. If they're not intentionally sour, a little bit of tartness still helps balance that fruit flavor. The body, the head retention, and carbonation are all a bit low for the style, but those are sort of more minor points here, really. It really balances very well for the flavor, especially with that acidity and the dryness. Other than that, I like it. I couldn't help wondering what a creamier, frothier, richer version would be like. That would be more of a standard wit beer presentation, a little more body, a little more foam to it. But this is actually very nice as it is, so no problems there. In the end, I like this beer a lot. I gave it a 37.
Awesome.
And I would add that this bottle now, several months later, it seems to have changed appreciably.
That's what I was about to ask you. What are the differences? Very quickly, in the two
It
beers.
seems to be acquiring an odd, almost chocolatey character,
Like a bitter chocolate,
especially in the finish. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get that.
it's actually pretty strong.
Yeah, I get like a almost a nutmeg thing.
Yeah,
Like maybe slight cinnamon, but more nutmeg.
nutmeg. Yeah, almost a woody kind of character to it.
yeah.
I would say the carbonation, if anything, is a little bit lower at this point.
Is that aged coriander?
Yeah, and
coriander.
whatever wit beer characteristic there, it seems to have faded out.
Yeah.
So those nice sort of wit beer, weedy, yeasty aromas are kind of fading away. It's still actually pretty nice, though.
Yeah, it's
The fruit,
absolutely.
the tart just keep this bear going. The chocolate flavor is unexpected, but it's not bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Brian.
Yeah, it's just a whiff of that. It's not over the top. Wow. And when we poured the first sample, the bottle nearly gushed. It had a foam rising out of the bottleneck. This one didn't seem to do that. So,
yeah,
it's got a fruity cranberry sweet aroma up front. Pretty moderate fruity esters in there. I was digging to get any of the base style then and now, but it does have a light honey-like sweetness, and the malt flavor lacks much of the coriander and any orange peel, orange rind that you might have put in there. It's low, no real pepperiness or anything like that. So it doesn't scream like I'm a Belgian wit beer,
It does not.
It's just like I am a Belgian.
I may or may not.
Beer. It's like color wise, it's a really beautiful looking beer. It's this kind of clear, golden orangey kind of pink. It's definitely pink in color, but it's like.
Do you think the color has faded at all?
Quite pretty. Now, I remember it looking like this. It was like, wow, that's a really cool color for a beer.
Yeah, I don't think the color has changed terribly. It's this sort of coppery pink thing.
A low kind of pinkish white head that faded fairly quickly with a flourish of frothy bubbles. It kind of had this kind of faded and kind of collapsed a little bit in this kind of like soda pop kind of sounding bubbles, when we poured it. And sometimes different beer consistencies will do that with the bubbles, like if something especially really dry. But yeah, flavor-wise, super pleasant cranberry tart flavor up front. It's kind of a punch-like impression. And to me, I thought of a new way to describe it too. And it's got, the cranberry. There's a lot of fruitiness here. There's a lot of fruits, including that kind of cherry-like flavors in there. And to me, if you remember Cherry 7-Up, it's got this kind of like a dry Cherry 7-Up kind of a flavor to it.
Yes, I'll give you that.
It's just clean and dries off your tongue, and you got a little fruit with a refreshing quality with it, and
a refreshing little fruit towel.
Light little tartness.
Dries off your tongue.
Yeah,
leaves wonderful flavors behind.
Oh, that's good. A refreshing little fruit towel.
Yeah,
very fruity. You could market this. Yeah, if you found the right way to market it,
just call it fruit towel.
Fruit towel.
Yeah.
No obvious alcohol, low bitterness, very fruity, no hops in there in the aftertaste or anything like that. Nicely puckering. It's maybe if you were going to enter it as a wit beer and it was this tart, you'd say, that's a bit too tart for a wit beer. But it's pleasant with what is there for just the balance of the style with the fruit.
When I think you specify cranberry, people are going to expect that
a little tart.
Yes.
It's a tart fruit.
That almost astringent finish and.
Yeah.
I think you give leeway for that.
Absolutely.
Right. The malt, it's you should get a little weedy character in a wit. The malt is pretty much buried. It's just a little base malt with a low, little honey-like note. Definitely balanced to the fruit and the fruit only. And a little puckeriness. But yeah, finishes dry, but it still has the impression of some sweetness in there. I don't know if there was any wild yeast or bacterial action in here, or if the tartness just came from the fruit. Go ahead.
It's all wild yeast
Okay.
from my peach tree in the backyard. I
Very
cultured
cool.
it up.
Yeah. So there's possibly some wild yeast going on in here, I think.
It would probably explain the lack of the usual wit beer yeast-driven character.
Yes,
I was right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's no yeast like Belgian-y yeast character in here, and that, it's definitely got more of a wild yeast impression, and that worked well though. For whatever you gathered from that fruit was, it was doing a nice job on the beer.
Yeah.
In the mouthfeel, it's pleasantly drying. There's no Brett leatheriness or anything like that. I don't think you got any Brett in here, but carbonation is medium, no astringency, not very creamy. Just a bit biting from the acidity levels, but I'll forgive that. And a little carbonation prickle. It doesn't seem like it's really heavy or warming. It's not a big, heavy alcohol beer, but just refreshing and smooth. So, what the bottom line, I normally avoid fruit beer like the plague. Like, you order a fruit beer at a bar, and it's like, it's like a typical, not to be sexist, but like a girly beer that they'll try to push on people, that don't like real beer, and it's like, well, here, try this, and it's, it just tastes like a sweet
not
cherry,
a fruit towel,
or sweet raspberry or sweet strawberry mixed with some nondescript beer in there, but. This has got a lot of interesting things to it. This is a fun to drink beer. And the wild yeast is probably a big part of it. Whatever whatever you got off of that fermented it out, gave it an interesting ester profile alongside the fruity cranberry that's there. It's got a lot of zing, and it packs a nice punch with the tart cranberry there. So, and as declared there, the cranberry is sharp and prevalent. It's just hard to find any hint of the wit beer style. So that's what when I first judged it, I knocked it down for a little bit, because you declare it as a cranberry wit beer. You want to taste both some cranberry and some wit. Now, I wouldn't change this beer for the life of me. It's just for anything. It's just great the way it is. It's really nicely balanced. But if you declare it as a cranberry wit, you should have more of a wit beer element in there. So I would declare this as a cranberry wild, American wild ale or something.
The new guidelines have the wild ale character,
which is a new thing you can do.
Category.
Yeah,
So I definitely put it there as a fruit wild.
A wild specialty. Yeah. So, if you wanted it to make it more like a cranberry wit, you'd probably want to back off the cranberry, bring up the orange zest and coriander stuff, use some actual Belgian wit beer yeast in there, and let that get a little bit of that peppery character shine through.
Please don't.
All that being said, just leave it the way it is, and enter as American wild, or just enjoy it as it is and drink it. Don't enter it. Keep it all for yourself. I initially scored it a 34 because it's like, well, as declared, it doesn't really meet that. But tasting it again now, I think it has actually improved a little bit with age, and I can forgive some of those things just because it's such a cool beer. So I'll come up and agree with Lee at the 37 there. So what a cool beer! Thanks for sharing it.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris, how did you do the cranberry? Tell me, a little briefly maybe, but what did you do, man? Is this real? Are they real cranberries? Is it fruit flavoring? What is it?
Oh yeah, no, it's real cranberries. I put about a pound of cranberries per gallon, give or take a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then let it age for almost a year on the cranberries after I fermented out.
Wow. From your garden too, or
No, just from the store.
Garden.
Are they ethically sourced?
Cranberry, yeah, they sure do.
Yeah.
Every quarter cent that I make off this homebrew, I donate to kids. And then okay. So first of all, aging a year on the fruit doesn't seem. I mean,
wow.
To me, if you just told me that and I hadn't tasted the beer, I'd be like, "That's way too long, bro. This thing is going to be astringent and tannic and trashy." But it's not. It's quite the opposite.
And then we let it sit for another 4 months before we.
Let's not talk about that so much. But aging on fruit for that long, is that? When it's not a sour beer, is that kind of unheard of?
Well, it is kind of a sour beer, a little bit.
Well, yeah, I guess.
It's a wild ale. It's got some sourness and tartness to it.
No.
I don't know if the sourness is coming from any of the wild yeast, or if it's just
cranberry or both,
or
maybe
something. Some lactobacillus that might have gotten in there.
So, how did you do the peach yeast? I'll just call it peach yeast.
Like I said on the peach yeast episode you guys did a while back.
Yes.
I walked out and took it right off my peach tree and plunked it down in some apple juice I had.
That's right. Okay. And then you just let it go.
When I started sea fermentation, I sanitized the fork and scooped it out, and that was my culture.
Yeah, I remember talking with you about that. That's
right.
a fun experiment.
I like that. That's good times.
And did you smell the culture to make sure it was kind of...
It smelled good. Nothing smelled all funky or anything like that. I made actually quite a few beers with it. That was like my house yeast for a while.
It smells like gym socks. Let's dump it in. Woo!
Yeah, no, it tasted good. It smelled good. So I figured, hey, let's see where it goes,
Yeah, it went somewhere nice, man. And now, look, do you have any of it left over? You have any of it left? I should say?
You guys got the last bottle. No.
Wow.
Well, now you know how it will age.
Fantastically. I brewed it, like I said, I brewed it Thanksgiving-ish 2014.
Dude, and I was thinking like that weird, I don't want to say weird isn't a bad thing, but that weird kind of spicy, nutmeggy, allspice, coriander.
There's a half a stick of cinnamon was in the 5 gallons also.
Would half a stick come through? Well, I don't know. Either way, I mean, if it kept aging out like this, it would be a great Christmas beer. You could brew it.
Strong.
It would last a year round. So, this would be great.
Yeah, Thanksgiving's coming up again here soon, so your task is, try to repeat this. See if you can get the same character.
And then age it for next Thanksgiving. I'm telling you.
You have the same culture going. You could pull it. I mean, it might have changed, and some dominant strains might have come through. But you could try just doing the same exact thing, or you could make a 10-gallon batch and do some with the freshly dry peached brew, and with some with the classic or whatever, and see where it goes, and blend them and have some fun. Why not?
Indeed.
All right, Chris. Thanks, man. I appreciate it once again.
No problem.
All right, bye.
Yeah, thanks for sending that in.
Nice chatting with you again.
All right, bye.
Okay, bye.
Cool. Very awesome, man.
Yeah, I don't know. If I could give this a beer in the 40s, I don't know if you declared it as an American Wild Ale, and it was in it, once the 2015 guidelines kick in, most competitions will begin using them around the end of this year, and those will be some things you might start seeing at competitions a little more.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of what kept me from scoring this higher was just the absence of actual wit beer character.
Yeah.
For the basic beer structure, that's probably okay to call it a wit beer, but just did not have any of those yeast-based flavors and the spicy sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. So it seemed off there, but proper categorization, you get a few more points on this easily. And I mean, this is just wonderful stuff. I would love to have, a couple big old
750s. Yeah, man, for sure.
Thanksgiving, it would be awesome.
Well, I think that's part
It'd
of the.
Feel great with turkey.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? Brew it on Thanksgiving, and then let it age for that year because it needs that to kind of. And I didn't taste it with you guys in May or whatever, but I think it needs that kind of spice character. However, things kind of unfold after a while. I think it needs that. Well, it doesn't need it, but it benefits it to make it more of a Thanksgiving beer. I would never think of a beer like this being aged for a year.
Yeah,
but
it's interesting enough. I might have to try and figure out how to make this.
Yeah,
I don't think I have access to his peach tree.
No, but I'm sure. I don't know. Whatever.
Serve it instead of cranberry sauce, please.
I mean, this would be a great accompaniment for Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, I think it'd be amazing. Yeah,
need a little bite of turkey, each sip some of this. Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk to Mike, because Mike has a smoked amber ale, and I'm on this little smoke beer kick, so I can't wait for this one. It's Dr. Homebrew, everyone. Stay tuned. We'll be back after these messages.
Hello, fellow BNers. This is Sully from the 21st Amendment Brewery located in San Francisco, just 2 blocks from Giants Park. Before Nico and I opened the 21A and before I was a professional brewer, I homebrewed on my small 4-burner apartment stove in a back house in Santa Monica, California, making my extract brews before graduating to the daunting idea of all-grain brewing. Homebrew books and information was hard to come by back then. The internet hadn't been invented yet, along with other things we take for granted today, like electricity and potable water. One thing I wish I had back then when I was learning was a radio show that could teach me the ins and outs of brewing and answer questions that I had about homebrewing, a resource for making great craft beer. The 21st Amendment Brewery is excited to be a proud sponsor of Dr. Homebrew, a great show that teaches you what you need to know about making incredible beer. Good stuff. Listen up, you might learn something. I certainly did. And thanks for your support. Tasty Crack Cans.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
That's it. I've had it. I am never putting hops in my beer again.
What? Why?
It's just too ridiculous. Insane prices, stupid contracts, high shipping costs, crappy selection.
Dude, you need Nico Brew.
Nico Brew will rock your f***ing face right the f*** off your f***ing
skull. $5 shipping to all 50 states. Plus fantastic international rates get you low prices on Nico Brew's great selection of hops and more. Whether you're a home brewer, a pro brewer, or a homebrew shop owner, Nico Brew can get you the hops you need in increments big and small. Single orders, spot buys, or full contracts. And there's only one place to join the uber special secret elite bare bones club where you'll get the best deals anywhere.
Holy shit!
NicoBrew.com. NIKOBREW. Nico Brew, your bare bones buddy in the brewing business. Beer tasting games that train your palate, a brewery locator, and the brand new interactive beer style guide. These are just a few of the awesome things you'll find on craftbeer.com. The style guide is a beautiful example of technology in beer. Browse beer style families or turn on the automatic beer style finder and explore beer through color, bitterness, ABV, aroma, and flavor. It's really the coolest way to explore every beer style besides having them all in front of you. Go to craftbeer.com and click on Beer Styles to start the guide. Plus, enjoy the rest of craftbeer.com, the Brewers Banter blogs, beer education, how to host a beer tasting, and the invaluable Draft Quality Manual. Tons of great content that makes your beer better. Visit the new craftbeer.com right now and explore the website that brings you all the passion, camaraderie, and creativity of the craft beer community. Craftbeer.com, celebrating the best of American beer. Now, back to the examination.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Brian's over here playing a little electric guitar. You're going to... BNA 11, we should cover this intro. It'd be amazing. All right, with us we have our close personal friend, Mike. Mike, are you with us, buddy?
Yes.
How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Perfect.
Mike, it seems like forever since we've talked to you.
Welcome back, my friend. Welcome back.
Days.
Yeah. So we have a smoked amber beer from you. Is this the first time you brewed something like this?
It is.
Look at you. You're just brewing a bunch of stuff.
Right.
I love smoked beers. A lot of people, I think it'd be a toss-up between pumpkin beers or smoked beers as to which they dislike the most, I guess, is appropriate for that. But I love them. And how many gallons do you brew at a time?
5.
Okay, 5. So does it take you a while to go through 5 gallons of smoked beer? Thank you.
Yeah. I don't know how much I have left, but I've had it for a while.
Okay. When did you brew this?
I can't even remember. It was probably like 5 months ago.
Okay. That's not bad. I guess if you still have a lot, then that's...
Yeah. It's probably still have a half a keg, so...
Okay. And we're just looking for general recipe questions right now? General feedback, basically.
Okay. I just want to know how the smoke came through, because it comes off very toasty to me.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if I should put more smoked malt or smoke the malt more.
Is this home smoked malt?
It is.
Oh, wow. Okay. How did you do that?
Good for you.
What kind of wood?
I was cooking some ribs one day in my barbecue, and I just put I think it was a pound in a pan and just spread it out and set it in there.
Just random wood or what? Yeah.
It was pecan.
Pecan. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. All right.
Tree wood. All right.
Brian?
Mike sounds like a very like you
crazy person.
Enjoy?
No.
I mean,
kidding.
I brew a little crazy too.
Yeah.
Like laid back. Like, well, it was just barbecuing one day, and I decided let's smoke some malt. Or let's smoke some. Let's smoke some malt.
Well, it would explain why it has that sort of undertone
then-
of pork rib to it.
Yeah, I put
Jumped
the
in the
pork
hot
ribs
tub.
above it, which I don't know if it was a good thing or not.
Yeah.
No, there's
That's a
no
joke. That
flavors in
didn't
here.
I just like the fun attitude. I'm poking a little fun, but yeah, it's
What you should do is put it under so it catches the drippings.
Yes.
Right, that's what I
Yeah.
was saying.
Yeah, that'll mash great.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it reminds me of the Alaskan, the smoked porter there, where they use the salmon planks for the smoking the beer. So it's kind of the connection of the food with the beer. It all goes together and it all comes back around. So kind of cool to have that connection. I was like, a barbecue day and those associations. But to me, it smells like a campfire. It's like and a bacony kind of impression there. It's very rich smokiness coming through right up front. It's it's got a lot of smoke in the aroma, and the maltiness is kind of in the background. What I'm getting is mainly bread crusty, Munich-y kind of flavors in there. A little bit of caramel poking through, maybe, but mostly, bread toast, bread crust, dark bread kind of aromas. Hop is low and kind of faintly citrusy. There's no DMS or diacetyl here. The esters are kind of buried in there too, hard to detect, but it's generally a little bit fruity. Appearance-wise, though, it's a rich copper-colored beer, a tall off-white head that sticks around pretty well. It had a little bit of haze, but it's mostly clear. Actually, this sample looks
pretty clear,
pretty darn clear.
Yeah.
And it was getting pretty dark by the time we judged this one, so we had to get out our flashlights. iPhones. And the flavor, the smokiness dominates again. Mm-hmm. Smoke wins,
which is great.
It's got a ashy, rich campfire wood smoke kind of a smell to it, which I guess is appropriate if you're just you're burning wood at home, and it's like, hey, it's a campfire wood kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. It covers a lot of the rest that's there, though. To me, it does have a moderate bread crustiness again to the malt that's coming through. Medium low bitterness, some hop flavor, pretty low, kind of faint citrusy again, and it seems clean as far as the ale fermentation went. But yeah, it's definitely balanced way over to the smoke, and it lingers a long time in the aftertaste. It's kind of a one-trick pony as far as that goes, or maybe a two-trick pony. It's like bread, crusty malt, and smoke, and the smoke wins. So I'm having a harder time getting towards if it is an American amber base, it's like one of those richly malty ones. Not a whole lot of hop there. Just kind of a smooth, very malty American amber base, which is fine. I'm getting some of that. It's there. It's hiding a little bit, but and the smoke isn't like so intense. It melts your face off. It's there, and it's pretty heavy, and it covers a lot of what's there, but it's not so intense that it hurts you. Body wise, mouthfeel wise, it's kind of medium bodied. It gives you that I don't know if it's astringency, but it gives you kind of a leather on the tongue kind of impression. Like the smoke kind of bites your tongue a little bit. I'm pretty sure that's coming from the smoke, and you belch it up into the back of your mouth, and you feel it in your nose too.
Yeah.
There's a little low warmth, not very creamy or smooth. The carbonation seems to be kind of medium full. Medium-ish, yeah. But overall, the beer, it's a richly smoky beer. It's little of the base style shining through to me. I would personally, if I was brewing this beer, and I don't hate smoked beers, I like, if you go to you get the Bamberg stuff there, and get a real Märzen that's been smoked, or God, if you can get a hold of some of their Helles, the smoked Helles. Oh my God,
it's good stuff.
And it's that is delicate. You can get the base style with the smoke. So anyway, I would back off the smoked malts a bit to get more of what is there to be detected.
Do you want to know how much you put in?
Yeah.
20%.
It's
almost 21, which is only 2 pounds. So I guess I shouldn't lead with
that really
outrageous number.
Especially if you're talking home smoked malt, that's not. It depends on how strong the smoke is in the malt. So you can't say 20% is too much or too little. You got to kind of titrate the flavor of the smoke malt you made to see what you need. Because it's going to vary batch to batch. And smoke, I mean, the Rauch malt used to be available here. It still is at the source, I'm sure, like 3 different smoke intensities. You can do 100% for the low smoke.
Yeah.
If you tried 100% with a high smoke, you might not like it. So it's really an intensity thing per the malt that you have to figure out for your beer, where you want your balance with that.
Yeah. So to me, it was off balance, I would say. I mean, it just the style is a little bit there, and it seems like it's very cleanly brewed and well made. And the beer, I would enjoy tasting what the beer would be like without the smoke, and kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, tasting it with, or blending the smoked version with a regular version of this. Otherwise, it's pretty drinkable and it's flavorful. It's just definitely a matter of the balancing act with the smoke. So to me, I scored it at 29. I think it maybe deserves a little better. It's just like presented as an American amber ale. With home smoked malt, it's a little intense for me. But I enjoy all the flavors that are there and the kind of baconiness that I'm getting. So if it was a little more subtle, I would enjoy it more and it would be better balanced. But what does Lee have to say?
So a lot of what Brian said about the basic beer, I would agree with. Sort of nice toasty malt characteristics and things like that. Clean ferment, no DMS, diacetyl. Overall, I kind of thought it was a pleasant, enjoyable smoked amber ale. Base beer character is obvious. I mean, I'm thinking it's not a hoppy style amber ale, so that's fine. And actually, that's good because that would kind of clash with smoke in a smoked beer. Mm-hmm. So hoppy and smoke don't really go together easily. It's a tough balance to pull off.
You wouldn't want to maybe bump up the hops too much.
Yeah, I thought it was very drinkable. Smoke character in the nose. Initially, I thought you might have used some of the Bamberg Rauch, but who knows? I'm guessing. Later, I thought maybe cherry wood because it had a little bit of that sort of an acrid finish. And this is sort of the key to a lot of the issues here. The finish on the smoke, the start of the smoke is very nice. It's got that soft, almost bacony kind of smoky character.
Yeah,
that's what you really want. And in the finish, it's got a bit of this sort of acrid, ashy flavor to it, which is probably not the best smoke characteristic. So it might depend on how this malt was smoked, as to how that flavor is coming through. But that's what you probably don't want.
That was my comment too, because it kind of tasted in like the back of your palate like ashtray-y.
Yeah, but up front is wonderful.
Yes, it is. Mike, answer his question right now.
Damn it,
Michael.
How did you smoke this?
Yeah,
malt?
how did you smoke this malt?
So I have a smoker. It's just it's a barbecue for smoking pork ribs and stuff like that. And I actually put it in before I put the meat in, and it was right as I was starting the fire, and I think that's what the ashiness is coming from. Actually, because that raw burning.
Yes,
instead of the later what comes.
That's what it tastes like. It tastes like, because I do that a lot too. I have a big green egg, not to get brand specific, but I just did it. And when you first throw kind of blocks of wood in there, you kind of get this, something's burning rather than the highlights of the smoke, which is still very interesting that you So did you have it directly over the fire, or was it offset?
It's an offset.
Okay.
Smoker, so it wasn't directly over the fire. It was at, and I think the temperature may have been high. I barbecue at like 225, 250.
Attaboy.
So I think that if I did it again, I'd actually bring the temperature down as basically as low as I could get it.
That's the temperature,
just to get it to cover it, because I don't know, it comes off as like toasty too, also, and I think it may have toasted the malt.
It might have
that might be fine. I mean, it's just a flavor characteristic to take into account. And the 220, 225, 250 you're talking about is the chamber where the meat, or in this case, the malt is.
Yeah. Right.
That's probably fine. So two questions here. Was the smoke in a chamber, it was electric or charcoal powered?
It's a charcoal.
So were the fumes from the charcoal combining with the smoke from the wood?
Yeah.
That's probably something you want to avoid.
Yeah.
Because then you're going to get basically charcoal smoked beer, and that might be the source of that kind of ashy character right there.
Yeah, good point.
So I think it's easier to get a good result if you do this in like electric smoker or a charcoal smoker, where you basically have the chips or the blocks sitting in a tray over the heat, and you venting the charcoal heat off somewhere else.
Well, you could. You could start the fire. The wood.
Get it smoldering.
Yeah, you can light that on fire, and then get it smoldering, or just get it smoky, and then
get rid of the charcoal.
Get rid of the charcoal,
burn
or
off the charcoal.
You can use like the electric starter, and you can put in. But
Yeah.
I think you're right. And do you use lump charcoal or briquettes?
It just depends. I think
Okay.
I use lump for this.
Okay,
Yeah.
because and this smell is exactly what I get because lump is the best. And for the first 10 minutes, you're getting this kind of when everything's starting to burn off a little bit,
Right.
And you get that acrid.
And that timing
thing.
is the second key. So, you could maybe start this with charcoal, but then get the wood going, get a good fire going on it,
Yeah.
get rid of the charcoal, or it's all burned off by then, and then tamp it down. Because, if you're smoking meat, you've probably heard this endlessly before, that the phase you really want to get at is when you've got the wood, it's sort of the temperature's down. It's not a really hot burn on the wood, and you're getting that kind of blue smoke. Where you get the best flavor off of it. So if you smoke this when that wood was just actively flaming yellow flames, you're not going to be getting the best smoke off of it.
Yeah.
With all that said, I actually really like this beer. I think it's nice. That finish is a little bit unpleasant, but other than that, I think you got, for me, and I like smoked beers, I thought you had a good balance of smoke versus the base beer.
Yeah.
It's very, very akin to what you get in a Schlenkerla, one of the stronger Bamberg Rauchs. So I think you nailed it there.
Absolutely. The base beer is great. The base smoke is great. It's just that when you breathe out, it's not even in the taste. It's just when I breathe out, it's just coming off my soft palate that I get that acrid thing.
Yeah, so it's just that finish. And I think that's just the quality of the smoke and the technique you use. So kudos to you for catching the wild hair and throwing that stuff on there.
Yeah.
If you want to make it better, though, it might take a little bit more planning on how to get the proper type and quality of the smoke out of it.
And then when you smoke it a different way, you're going to have to adjust too. And if this one was a little richer going in, you might need to add even more of the malt to get to the same balance or like slightly less smoke. But yeah, it definitely had like a campfire kind of impression to it rather than like a background, like distant fire kind of a characteristic, like a smooth smokiness.
A smoothie smoke.
Smoothie smoke.
Do you like smoked beers a lot?
I've never had one.
Okay.
I live in Utah, so we don't have that much to grab at.
Right.
So I started brewing just because I can't find smoked beers and I can't find, all these different styles. So I just decided to brew them myself.
Right. No, that's a great idea. There's a book in those Brewers Beer Style series. It's on smoked beers. And it has an excellent discussion in the last chapter, I think it is, or second last chapter, on how to do your own malt smoking. If this is something that grabs you, that book might be worth the investment because they really go into some detail on it.
And if you enjoy this, come over to California and bring some bottles home, next time you get a chance. And of the Schlenkerla, the Meritzen, or the Urbach, or the smoked Helles, if you can find it, and some of the other smoked beers, Alaskan smoked porter and things like that. If you've never had a commercial example before, there's a lot of really good ones out there.
Or just go to Vegas.
And there's a lot of really
you can get it all there too.
Vegas, yeah, that's close. And it's an excuse to go gamble, I suppose.
Mike, do you have any questions for the guys?
No, I think you guys covered it.
Okay.
And I gave it a 35.
Okay.
And if it weren't for that acrid finish, I'd probably give it a few points higher than that, actually. This is very, except for that finish, is very nice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very well-made beer.
Yeah, I can tell it's a well-made beer, too. And I listening to what Lee had to say about it, I agree with a lot of that. It's like...
So are you going to bring up the score like the other guy?
I could go to a 30 just for fun. Yeah,
oh, come on.
Brian just can't get over the acrid.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not for everybody. And smoke beer, this is the weird thing, too. Smoked beers are not for everybody. Some people love them. Some people hate them.
Yeah.
Most people just don't know them.
Some people love them. Most people are wrong. Is what I say.
Well, that's like anything.
Yes.
It's definitely a sipping beer. You can't really pound these like, wow, I'm going to go have a couple pints of smoked beer. It's like, this is you're sipping a little.
Yeah, you can. I got a session smoked bear on tap at home right now. You can drink a few pints of that.
It's called a Grodzitsky.
Right.
See, that's what he said about my summer ale, is that you can't pound. I don't see a problem with pounding it. I don't know.
Mike's about 4 months away from entering some sort of program. All right, Mike, if that's it,
Beers Anonymous.
we'll let you go.
All right.
Any other questions, or am I rushing you off?
No,
Okay.
no, I'm good.
Thanks
All
for
right,
sharing.
cool.
Keep experimenting and keep improving on that stuff. You're doing some cool things.
Yeah, man.
Great.
All right, buddy. Take it
Thanks.
easy, and we'll talk to you later.
Yep. Cheers.
Thanks.
All right, man. Bye. Cool. Awesome. Okay, let's take a break, and then when we come back, we'll deliver our prizes and maybe have a group hug. I don't know. And
Are there any weird commercial beers around that we can swill?
I'm sure there's some. Some we can figure out.
You usually have like a can of the rarest beer on earth that was sent to you from some
Oh,
listener.
not anymore. I don't have any more beer. We've drank them all. Anyway, Dr. Homebrew, everyone. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages.
Do you know the 3 most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star San, SaniClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today. High Gravity Homebrewing Supplies wants you to keep it simple. Brewing should be fun. And with High Gravity's amazing electric brewing systems, it is. High Gravity keeps their brewing systems simple, on purpose. More efficient than gas, customizable, and with your choice of 1, 2, or 3 vessels, High Gravity's electric brewing systems will completely change the way you brew beer, formulate recipes, and improve your beer's consistency. Dave at High Gravity can customize your system to fit your needs. High Gravity invites you to visit their Build Your Own Brewery page and see how easy it can be to brew electric. And High Gravity offers $7.99 flat rate shipping on most of their products. www.highdgravitybrew.com. High Gravity. Keep it electric. Keep it simple. Visit highdgravitybrew.com. Admit it. Homebrewing is not always free of frustrations. Years ago, brothers Bill and Jim Mitchell decided to minimize those frustrations and create an entirely new brewing process and a brand new kitchen appliance, the Pico Brew Zymatic. The Zymatic sits on your kitchen counter and connects to the internet via Wi-Fi. It comes with access to a huge recipe library full of award-winning beers and can brew your next batch at the push of a button. Improve repeatability and refine your recipes with the Pico Brew Zymatic. With minimal cleaning and hassle, the Zymatic enables anyone to brew craft beer in the comfort of their own kitchen. Just add your ingredients and the process of homebrewing becomes simplified and automatic, allowing you to focus on what really matters while you brew. At Pico Brew, they believe everyone should be able to enjoy the art of homebrewing and make their own damn good craft beer. See the Zymatic in action today at picobrew.com.
I'm sorry to tell you this, but we're going to have to pour you out.
Back to Dr. Homebrew.
All right, thanks for sticking with us. We're just about done here. We're about to hand out some prizes. Of course, everybody on the show, not everybody on the show, Brian and Lee, you guys don't get any of this.
We don't get shit.
You don't get anything. Well, you get a hearty handshake, and we got a bottle of water from Bev. That's pretty nice, right?
True, the bottle of water is just...
It's payment in and of itself.
We're still winners. Come on.
That's true. All of our guests on the show today, yeah, there's no fizz. There we go. We'll receive a nice little prize pack from 5-Star. You can go to 5starchemicals.com to learn more about them. But we have 2 wonderful prizes. One is from GrogTag. You can go to grogtag.com and learn more about them. It's a $40 gift certificate. We like to call it the At Least Your Beer Will Look Good gift certificate. Thank you very much. And it's for the home brewer tonight that had the lowest score. Okay, you're going to have to make me go to the bathroom here. Get out of here. Actually, I did go to the bathroom now. Who wins the Grog Tag gift certificate, fellas?
You're not in that age bracket.
That would be Mike.
Who wins it?
Mike?
Mr. Mike.
Woo!
That's a second winner. It's a dual winner, right? He won last time. He won last show.
Double Grog Tag.
Yeah.
Double Grog.
Double Grog, baby. That's the only way to do it. You got a double grog. So that means Chris is the winner of our High Gravity Homebrew gift certificate. You can go to highgravityhomebrew.com. Check out Desiree and all those people over there. They're doing some really cool stuff with some pretty good equipment and some great ingredients.
Do they sell wild yeast harvested from peaches in their backyard?
They might. And I don't know. I can't say that they don't. But I'm going to guess.
But you don't say that they can.
I'm going to guess not. Because, who does? But I guarantee you they will be able to tell you how to harvest peaches from your backyard. And they will provide you with the equipment to do so.
Will they give me a peach tree, too?
Again, I can't answer those questions for you guys. You guys are asking the probing, hard-hitting questions.
Well, that is the nature of this kind of journalism.
Right. That's what we're doing now?
Probing, hard-hitting questions
People
about
ask us questions all the
peach
time.
tree availability.
We finally get to ask you something, and then you just bitch at us.
Yeah,
I
deflect. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. You can call up High Gravity Homebrew, talk to Desiree, and ask her if she knows anything about planting peach trees.
I'm going to tell her you told us that personally that she would have a peach tree for us.
Okay, you do that, and then no, don't do that. I'll do it for you. How about that? And then I'll tell you what she says.
You'll tell us what to know.
Some crazy guy is going to be calling. Just placate him.
Just go. It's
just
fine.
Go. It'll be okay. Tell him you're going to send him the peach tree next week, and pet him a little bit and tell him to go away.
Yeah, it'll be a whole thing. I'm sure Lee is used to all that kind of stuff.
Being petted.
Being petted in
somebody in another state. You must have long arms.
Being ushered out the door.
Right. Yeah. Well, hey, wait. What are you saying here?
Hey, you.
Hey.
Okay. I think that's it. Right. We're done.
Yeah.
You better turn this thing off now. Yeah. Actually,
yeah. That was a good show. I think we had some good beers, and we're all about it.
Did we thank everybody we're supposed to thank?
We did thank everybody we're supposed to thank. What I do want to tell you guys to do is to keep listening to the Brewing Network. We have a lot of great shows. We have The Session. We have Brew Strong. We have not Can You Brew It? Jamil Show, Sour Hour, there you go, and of
they're
course
worth listening to as well.
They are, but get your fill on Dr. Homebrew first. Go to iTunes and rate the show,
and send us your beer, please.
Send us your beer if you want to get on the list for Dr. Homebrew. I think I'm booking till like January of next year, something like that. JP at thebrewingnetwork.com. And send me a message if you want to drop the guys a line. It's Brian and or Lee at thebrewingnetwork.com. Right, we got those for you.
That's it.
Yeah. So. There you go. You can
complaints.
You can bury yourself into the world that is Dr. Homebrew, and have a lot of fun doing it. All right, we're going to get out of here, guys. Thanks for sticking with us, and we'll see you next time on Dr. Homebrew.
Bye.